Hey there, and welcome to another episode here in the Kokoist USA channel. My name is Paola of paolafonsenails.com, and I am happy to be hosting another episode for Kokoist USA. If you are not familiar with Kokoist USA products, Kokoist is Japanese gel and it is soca. So if you would like to continue learning with us, then do consider subscribing and hitting that bell notification so that you are notified as soon as our next video drops. Today we are going to be doing 4 different ways to marble using Kokoist products. Let's begin. So the first way to marble with Kokoist Japanese gel is by using the art alcohol inks. So these are pigment with a lot of alcohol, and actually a little goes a long way, except for the white. The white is the only one that you're going to have to be slightly heavy-handed on. I thought it would be perfect to show you this with a pink so that we may create something like a Himalayan pink salt. So let's begin. I'm going to start with a combination of Strawberry Latte 127 and also Beige Pebble 101. And what I'm going to do is take a little bit of this more opaque color, and this nail has already been serviced. We're assuming that the client has received the service, the overlay that she desires, or if you're doing this on yourself, that works too. I'm gonna do that because I want a nice combination color. I don't actually want either one of these colors as a standalone color. And then I'm going to go here, and now I'm going to blend. Nothing perfect by any means, and I'm gonna go ahead and cure. Now I don't need to cure fully because I'm going to come with my bleeding ink, so my alcohol ink, and continue working on this nail. So I'm gonna start overlaying some colors. I want at least 20-second cure on this nail, and once I've achieved that, I'm gonna take my white alcohol ink, and I'm going to have my Kokoist palette nearby in case I need to get rid of some excess. Be really careful with your alcohol inks and place them somewhere where you're not going to spill them. Again, as you can see, the white should not cause you like overloading problems where it's like way too much for you to handle. Quite the opposite. And you want to continue to create patterns with the alcohol ink, and just notice that when it pools, like, creates a little puddle, that's totally fine. So as long as you don't leave it there and then you continue to move it around, because otherwise it might not dry fast enough before you put your top coat on. So keep working on this until you're happy, and then allow it to air dry, help it air dry if you want to, and then put it in the lamp just for 10-20 seconds, just so that it can attach to the gel a tiny bit. Again, they air dry, they do not light cure. Next, I'm going to do another layer, and I'm going to go ahead and cure that, and then I'm going to come again with the marble. Now, I'm only doing one of the colors. I'm not doing both colors. I'm doing the more translucent one so that you can see a little bit of the pattern with the alcohol ink at the bottom. So just know that that's something that you can do with these alcohol inks. You can layer them once they're fully dry underneath. So you want to use a little bit of that alcohol ink so that it dries. Something to note here is that Kokoist has 2 collections on these bleeding inks. One are solid colors, and the other one are like metallic colors. So they are 2 separate collections, and they can be purchased separately. They both are pretty neat as far as creating marble effects, and I think you'll have a lot of fun with the chrome ones. For the next marbling technique, we are going to be using Art Clear, and we're going to be creating like a turquoisey kind of design. And if you're not familiar with Art Clear is Kokoist foundation gel for all of their color gels. So you can use this as a mixing gel, or you can use this to dilute other colors if you want to play with them, or if you want to layer them like we are today for this marble effect.
Anytime you're working with a marble design, I do like to start with a white and preferably an off-white so that it's not too overpowering should it come through in any of the gaps of our marbling. I'm going to be using Gradation White, which is a bestseller in Japan for Kokoist.
Next, you want to grab Art Clear Zero. This is the gel that's going to do the marbling for us. And it actually doesn't have to be exactly on the nail, just some areas, the majority of the nail. So I've got my colors here. I'm using Sedona Turquoise, Santa Fe Turquoise, Bourbon Brown, Deep Papaya, and maybe I'll be using Oxy Black as well as the white. Let's start with this here. And notice I have that Art Clear Zero underneath. And this is enough. I'm going to take 256 Santa Fe Turquoise. And layer it on top of the wet gel there. And you can see that my self-leveling is going to start taking effect because of that Art Clear Zero that's allowing this gel to flow very nicely. I'm going to keep overlaying. I'm going to take a tiny bit of Bourbon Brown and I'm going to float this in a certain area. When you are marbling with the Kokoist product, you want to kind of push the colors into each other. Let me see. Now I want to grab a little bit of this white and just float it on top of this. We're trying to create dimension. Okay, the last color, you can see how everything's nearly flat because of that Art Clear gel there. I'm going to take a tiny bit of yellow, just a tiny bit, especially when it's a mustard yellow. And I'm going to help this bourbon out a little bit here. And again, you see that the Art Clear Zero is allowing the product to just float on nicely and give me a beautiful marble effect. I'm going to go ahead and cure this.
And at this point, if you're happy with your design, you can move on to top coat. All right, the next method or technique that we are going to use to marble is by using Kokoist Hazy Gel. Hazy Gel is like a blooming gel. So basically you lay it on the nail and then you pour or you drop the gel on top of it and then it starts dispersing. This gel is only a dispersion gel. It's not like the Art Clear where we can mix colors, where we can use it for self-leveling. It doesn't have that little bit of more thickness that Art Clear does. So again, this gel is thinner, it's a little runnier. It's just to help the color disperse. We don't use this for mixing or anything else. There is also a white version of it, and I'm going to go ahead and use that on top of this clear so that you can see it work a little bit, and then we're going to start layering on top of these.
I want to focus it or concentrate it more on the center. So that it doesn't run into my side walls. All right, next step. Again, I'm just gonna let the product do the work. As you can see, now that I've just self-leveled Hazy Gel on top of Hazy Gel, there's already some marbling going on. Next, I wanna take my angular brush. I think that will be a little bit easier. And I'm going to overlay some of these colors. And I'm gonna do both angular brush and just my regular thin round brush here. I'm just going to allow it to self-level a tiny bit. When you're doing marbling, you don't want to create too much mixing in there, okay? A little bit is fine to create like natural stone patterns, and that's always going to be the goal, okay? So try not to mix too much within the nail here. Okay. And then now that we've blended our color in there, you can see there's some movement already. I'm gonna take on lavender petals. The initial color I was working with was Viola Purple Glass. And I'm just going to set it on top of this one. And I'm gonna stop right here real quick because this is a little darker than I wanted to, but that's not a problem. I'm just gonna use my gradation white to tone it down a little bit, and then I'm gonna finish off with licorice jelly beans. I really like the jelly beans collection. You'll be able to find some really cool marbling colors in there. Like if you want to do jade, there's a beautiful green in there. All right, so I said it was a little too dark for me, so I'm gonna just take some gradation white because this is in translucent or sheer white, and it's just gonna tone things down a little bit. That purple marbling. All right, and then I'm gonna just take lavender petals. Actually, I'm gonna take licorice jelly beans, and you saw how Hazy Gel allow us to self-level there. Okay. If you wanted to, you could come in here with Hazy Gel. This is Hazy Gel Clear. And just help the design a little bit, create movement one last time. But remember, we're not playing with it too much. Just kind of see what it gives us. It helps the color disperse. All right, very easy, similar to Art Clear, except this is for just dispersing, and Art Clear can be used for multiple things like creating your own colors. And I'm going to self-level a tiny bit. You can use any Kokoist gel here to self-level, except top coat. You want something with a little bit of strength. Okay, once you get the self-leveling that you want, go ahead and cure that before giving it a top coat. Imagine putting like a gold border to this. Would look beautiful. Okay, we go ahead and top coat that. I want you to see the patterns that we created, so I'm going to actually use the Velvet Matte Non-Wipe Top Gel. here you have that nail there. You can see our pattern now that it's matte. We top coated it matte. The next way to marble using Kokoist is by using the small tap brush. As per usual, I'm gonna start with a white base color. And because it's just a bottom layer, we're just going to do one coat. And I am using bluey white as the white. You can use either one, bluey white or maxi white. Just make sure the bluey white is thin. All right, so I'm going to start with my lighter colors on the bottom. I'm going to start with smoky mustard. And I'm going to set some on a palette or on the lid, either one. I'm going to go ahead and apply it on the palette. I'm going to apply all my colors on the palette. Eggplant navy and midnight chocolate. And we're going to use a little bit of Arabian gold. And I have a feeling we're going to need bourbon brown, so I'm just going to keep this nearby. And last but not least, we'll use a little bit more of that bluey white. With bluey white, you just need a little bit. It's really, really dense, pigmented. All right, so I'm gonna actually start with the blue. I don't know why it's calling me. And the way this works is that you wanna take a little bit on your tap brush and you wanna press down like so when you're tapping on the nail, okay? You also wanna work it in the palette so that it spreads nicely on this nail. You can see how this tap brush just allows you for so much control. Okay. Now to clean it, you're gonna need to put more alcohol on that. And you really want to do all of this. And it's totally okay to do this to this brush. Okay, now I'm gonna work with, I'm gonna do a yellow. I'm just patting it into that brush, and I'm gonna do the same thing. I may need a little more yellow so it doesn't blend too much and gives me like green. Okay. And I'm gonna take some of that Arabian gold and just kind of overlap it here. All right, I'll take a little bit more of that blue. And because I want to like amp up the colors, I'm going to go ahead and cure, and I'm going to do this all over again. I just need a quick flash cure, so a couple minutes or a couple seconds, 5 seconds, up to 20. It doesn't have to go in for a full 30. All right, so now what I'm gonna do, so my colors don't mix too much and kind of to reset my brush, I'm gonna take some of that white and I'm going to just create nice neutral space in between all of this. Okay, I need a little bit more white. And this allows me to also like marry the colors. All right. And you see I'm just doing this with this tap brush. And now I'm making these colors way more bold. Start commingling the rest of your colors. Maybe some more of this Arabian gold, which is actually quite beautiful. All right, give this a full cure, and now you can top coat. And that's how you do that with the tap brush.
Thank you for joining me today. Check out the description box below for any active promo codes as well as any upcoming education. We'll see you next time, and bye for now.